What's going on, YouTube? It's Arbor the Scholar again, back at it with another video. This is my second video, and today I wanted to talk to you about who killed Kennedy and why Kennedy was killed. Now's a good time to talk about this because obviously the Kennedy files have come out a few days ago. Now, if you look at the file, you know that it's very big, it's very large, it's thousands of pages. I didn't have time personally to look over the entire file, but I did look over the beginning parts of it, and I'm also in a chat archive for it as well. And basically, we know that at this point, Kennedy was not killed by Lee Harvey Oswald. Lee Harvey Oswald was a fall guy from the CIA. He was a CIA plant that they were going to use as a fall guy. The CIA had been watching him for over 60 days at this point, and we know that Kennedy wasn't just killed by one person or one agency. Kennedy was killed by an entire system, right? He was killed by a cabal. This cabal happens to be the New World Order, the NWO, the deep state, if you will, the shadow government. Whatever you'd like to call it. I'm not going to go into details about this in this video, but I will do that later down the line once I feel the time is right. So basically, Kennedy was killed for multiple reasons. It's not just one thing. But in order to get to the point where he was assassinated by the CIA, the original shooter was actually part of the system, part of the New World Order. It's printed on our bills. So as you can see, there's the Masonic emblem, and then Novus Ordo Secretum, Latin for New World Order. The Federal Reserve, the banking cabal that has been running America and attempting to globalize and run the world. The end goal is a one world government. Many of us are aware of this by now who have been paying attention and has been seeing what's been going on. So JFK, Kennedy was killed by a 33rd degree Freemason, right? This is a Masonic emblem right here. Freemasonry, also a symbol of the Illuminati. The secret society that has been running America that is forefronted by the bankers, by the banks, by the Federal Reserve. So Kennedy was killed by 33rd degree Freemason William Greer. And in the documents, the CIA also said they built a specific gun for Kennedy's shooting and Kennedy's assassination. And now we'll go down to the nitty-gritty of why they wanted Kennedy killed. Okay, they wanted Kennedy killed because Kennedy was short-circuiting the New World Order. JFK ordered the printing of constitutional money from the United States Treasury. He wanted money because the Federal Reserve at the time, right now it's on its way down, it's falling, but at the time of its height, the Federal Reserve was not a part of the U.S. government at all. It was a privately owned corporations by the Rothschilds, J.P. Morgans, the Rockefellers. Kennedy had ordered an executive order to cut their supply of money and supply the American people and the world with new notes backed by the United States Treasury, constitutional money. So that was going to end their financial system. There's that. And then there's two. Kennedy had passed after the Bay of Pigs. So very quickly, what happened during the Bay of Pigs is the Bay of Pigs was a clandestine CIA operation for them to try and overthrow Fidel Castro, the leader of Cuba at the time, the communist leader of Cuba. During the operation, the CIA had fed Kennedy misinformation, and the operation had failed. And CIA leadership actually turned their backs on Kennedy. So that was a very important point in our history, because at that point, we knew that the CIA was not working for the U.S. government anymore. For the president, the president didn't have any control over it. And Kennedy formed his own group with his brother Allen Dulles, who was a big trader at the time, and he actually passed what's called a National Security Memorandum, NSAM, and I believe it's number 55 or 57, where it forced and made the CIA to report directly to the Joint Chiefs of Staff, which is the guy who's forefronting the military, who's also a presidential pick. They made the CIA report to the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff then permitted the CIA whether they were going to commit whatever kind of operation they were going to do. So that was going to hold all the CIA corruption at the time. So this was going to lead to massive change and massive reform to the CIA, right? So you had those two aspects. He was going to cut off the cabal's money supply, and he was going to reform the cabal's CIA, which is the CIA. I'll get to this in a later video. Is the cabal's basically policing state. It's the state that the cabal uses to control the world and launch clandestine operations. What a clandestine operation is basically a silent operation, usually to overthrow another government, to put a guy who's in place that favors and is in line with the New World Order. As deep as these operations go. And we get to the most important part, which is listed in actually William Greer's book. Bill Greer. Bill Cooper, I'm sorry. Bill Cooper's book. Bill Cooper is a naval intelligence officer who had access to many military documentations during his service, and he basically figured out why Kennedy was killed, and the book touches upon everything that the cabal was going through because he had access to the military documentation. And in this book, one of the biggest reasons he lists why Kennedy was killed is, if you guys haven't been aware, that the United States, aliens are in fact real, and the United States has actually been working with other aliens and other intelligent life for a very long time, right? This dates all the way back into the 30s. But during the 40s and 50s, especially as Eisenhower got elected, after the Roswell incident, which happened in 1947, we began recovering destroyed alien craft. And we even housed some aliens and took them in. As bizarre as this sounds, as left field as this sounds, you really want to take the time to look into this, because this is absolutely true. During Eisenhower's administration, even in Truman's administration, the president had his hand dealt in dealing with other intelligent life, right? This led to an operation being launched called MJ-12, or Majestic 12, where 12 prominent individuals, military leaders, these included military leaders, high-ranking politicians, David Rockefeller, Henry Kissinger, a whole bunch of scientists got together and formed this secret group called Majestic 12, and they were going to be dealing with all of the alien life, right? And then this eventually ended up leading to a very important treaty called the Greada Treaty, Greada Treaty. During this treaty, these are the kind of gray humanoid aliens that our government came in contact with. During this treaty, Eisenhower was president at the time, and he was aware of them, of this gray hominoid species of aliens who were much smarter than us, more technology, all this. During this time, during this treaty we signed with this alien group, we had basically signed off that we were going to take 16 humans, and they were going to take 16 of their race, and we were going to do a swap, and it was like a friendly swap, an experimental swap, and we were going to try to extrapolate technologies from these aliens, right? And that's exactly what we did. They had demands of their own. They wanted to abduct human beings. They wanted to run experimentations on humans. And somewhere out of the line, the treaty had gone haywire and gone out of whack. The aliens at the time kind of overcrossed the line. They were abducting a lot of humans. They were mutilating cows. You know, there's proof of the cow mutilations. You could find them all over the internet. And at the time, who Eisenhower had entrusted with handling the intelligent life for the United States of America was a man named David Rockefeller, which ended up being a huge mistake because David Rockefeller, as we all know, he's a Rockefeller. He was a part of the cabal and a part of their system. And that's why at the end of Eisenhower's speech, he always says, beware of the military-industrial complex, right? And they say that, rumor has it, as he was resigning, Eisenhower was making sketches of aliens because, he was obsessed about the fact that he kind of failed to get it under control. And then that's around the time the CIA was launched and took in places. And every sector of intelligence in our military, in the three-letter agencies, not only do they admit that other intelligent life could very well be real, but they've got whole entire sections of their agencies for dealing with intelligent life. So Kennedy actually ordered the CIA, so somewhere along the lines of Kennedy's presidential term, he had gotten contact with this information, right? And he had ordered the CIA to disclose everything they knew about aliens and about intelligent life to the public. Okay, guys, so those are the three main reasons of why the New World Order, the system, wanted to assassinate Kennedy. You could also throw in another thing, which I almost forgot about, that's important. He also had registered Israel as a foreign agent, and he wanted to deny Israel nuclear weapons because obviously that would jeopardize the world of going into nuclear warfare. So that was another reason why they wanted to kill him. I will also be posting a link to the original killing, the original footage of the driver, William Greer, killing Kennedy, in the description below. I definitely can't post that video on YouTube. I don't want to deal with getting shadow banned, but I am going to be posting that below. So comment on what your thoughts are, guys, and definitely check out the original video. Thank you so much for watching.